are not satisfied with this small inheritance. We want the house too. But that's our home, the one Jack and I worked so hard on. Now that he's gone, I can't just give it away.
Come on, Mom, it's not like you need the house now. You should just give it to us.
This was supposed to be a family discussion, but it feels like you're trying to take everything from me. Oh, here we go with the drama again. Listen, Miriam, you didn't make this money anyway. It was Jack, wasn't it? Excuse me? And I'm his wife? You're not his wife, you're a parasite. Just accept the truth and give your son the house. Hello there. I'm Miriam and I'm 65 years old. My husband Jack is retired and we have been supporting each other for a long time. Our two children, Mike and Tim, are all grown up and married. Life had been pretty smooth sailing until a series of events turned everything upside down. On a fateful day, I found out that my dear husband had lung cancer. Jack and I were both heartbroken by that news. In fact, Jack's health was already declining at that point, but we never thought that it would be cancer. Of course, it took us some time to accept the reality that we are no longer as young and healthy as we used to be. But after that, we regained our positive outlook on life. We decided that I would wait a little before announcing the news to my children. Meanwhile, Jack and I made a pact to invest more in our health and well-being. Our old house was showing its age and we thought it was time for some renovations. We wanted to live with our oldest son Mike and his wife Lisa in the meantime, waiting for all the changes to be done. I called Mike to discuss the idea, but he didn't seem too thrilled about it. He said Lisa wouldn't like the idea either. Well, alright then, we still went ahead and decided to renovate the place for ourselves, making it more accessible as we grew older. After all, as a woman of my age, it has become clear that I needed to put myself and my health first. Jack and I rented a hotel to stay during those months, and it was a little bit inconvenient, but it was alright. We were too excited about the renovations to be bothered by anything else. A few months after the renovation, we planned a family meal with both our sons and their wives. Tim and his wife Sarah arrived first, and Sarah was thoughtful enough to bring a hostess gift. It was a beautiful flower bouquet with a white, delicate vase. As I bustled around the kitchen preparing the family meal, Sarah walked in with a warm smile. Mariam, I really hope you like the present. I bought you this little something as a thank you for having us over. Oh, I really do, Sarah. You didn't have to, but I appreciate it. Of course, anything. Do you need any help? I would love to lend a hand. That would be wonderful, thank you. You can start by chopping those veggies there. You're always so good at cooking, Sarah. Oh, stop it. You're the expert here. I have learned so much from you already. As we worked side by side, the conversation flowed naturally between us. Miriam, can I ask you something? Of course, dear. What's on your mind? Well, I was just wondering, why didn't you move in with Tim and me when you were waiting for the house renovations to be done? We would have loved to have you. Oh, it's nothing, really. You two lived farther away, so I didn't want to ask. Oh, what about Mike and Lisa's then? They live really close by. Don't worry, darling. I preferred staying at the hotel during this time anyway. Are you sure? You know, you're always welcome to stay with us. It would have been so much more convenient and you wouldn't have to worry about the hotel expenses. Thank you, Sarah. You're so kind, but you and Tim are still newlyweds, and I didn't want to intrude or cause any inconvenience. You're not an inconvenience at all, Miriam. Tim and I both want to take care of you and make sure you're comfortable. That's very sweet of you, dear. Then she gave me the warmest smile. I hadn't known her for long because Tim lived far away and he didn't introduce her to me until they had gone out for 2 years. But still, her caring nature made me feel really close to her. It made me a bit sad too because I had never received such affection from my other daughter-in-law, Lisa. She would regularly avoid talking to me on the phone or refusing to show up to family gatherings, but I tried not to dwell on it. After all, playing favors would just make the situation worse. I made an effort to be even more understanding and kind to Lisa. Then Mike and Lisa arrived. They sat on the sofa and demanded that I bring them some tea. Lisa was always like that, displaying a cold attitude towards us, and it seemed like Mike was changing in that direction too. Sarah offered them the tea, but the tension was palpable. Our family dinner had an unspoken awkwardness that I wished wasn't there. But the worst was yet to come. That night, I had some news to share. I needed to tell them that Jack had been diagnosed with lung cancer, and the doctor said he had about 6 months left. Mike and Lisa seemed genuinely surprised, but they quickly returned to their usual indifference. Then Lisa said something that would hurt my feelings for weeks. Well, you can't beat age, right? My uncle's passing was really quick due to stomach cancer. The doctor said he had a year, but he was gone in 2 weeks. Everyone but Mike stopped and looked at Lisa because we couldn't even understand how she could talk like that. Then I knew that I had to break the silence. Lisa, that wasn't very kind. Let's be sensitive to each other's feelings here.
Mom's right. We should support each other, not bring up painful memories.
Oh, come on, guys. It was just a passing comment. No need to get all worked up about it. It may have been a passing comment, but it hurt Jack, and that's what matters.
Mom needs our support now more than ever. Let's be there for her and show some compassion. Thank you, dear. Your words mean a lot to me.
Sarah didn't say anything, but she delicately held my hand under the table. The look on her face told me everything I needed to hear from her. She was there for me and Jack. I was grateful for Tim and Sarah, but I was really bothered by Lisa's comments and how Mike kept defending her. Jack, on the other hand, seemed really thoughtful. After the dinner, he asked me to just brush it off. Once again, we chose to let it go and focus on better things in life. As the weeks passed, Jack's health declined, and I found myself spending more time in the hospice. Mike and Lisa rarely visited us, claiming they were too busy with their lives. It hurt, but we had my other son, Tim, and his wife, Sarah, by our side. They drove me to the hospice almost every day, comforting and supporting Jack when Mike and Lisa were nowhere to be found. A few months after that dinner, Jack sadly passed away. It was such a painful loss with everything that had been happening. But what hurt me the most was the reaction of my family upon hearing the news. To be specific, the difference in how our sons and their wives reacted was stark. Tim and Sarah were there holding my hand and offering their comfort, but Mike and Lisa's visit was short and emotionless. They seemed impatient to leave, showing no sympathy for their own father's passing. The funeral went by, and after that, it was time to talk about the inheritance. Mike and Lisa were expecting a significant amount of money. This was because Jack had been a successful doctor his whole life. He loved to give to charities, but of course, everyone was expecting him to save an enormous amount for his own family. But then, when we met up with his lawyer, she had to break it to us gently that the inheritance was only about $30,000. Mike and Lisa were visibly disappointed. Their faces said it all, pure shock and disappointment. Since Mike and Lisa were not satisfied with their share, they demanded my house, the one that Jack and I had been working on just for us. This was our house, painstakingly renovated so we could live there comfortably in our old age. There was no way I would just hand it over to them. Still, they were determined. They even went to my house to have a face-to-face chat. We are not satisfied with this small inheritance. We want the house too. But that's our home, the one Jack and I worked so hard on. Now that he's gone, I can't just give it away.
Come on, Mom. It's not like you need the house now. You should just give it to us.
It's not about needing it or not. It's about the memories we created there and the plans we had for each other. You're just being selfish. Always think about yourself and not consider our needs. I'm not being selfish. I just want to keep the home we built together.
Mom, just give in and let us have the house. It's not fair to us.
It's not fair to me either. I have put up with so much disrespect and I won't take it anymore. Oh, now you're the victim? Stop playing the martyr, Mariam. I am not playing anything. I'm just hurt by how you both are treating me.
You're overreacting, Mom. We're just asking for what's rightfully ours.
This was supposed to be a family discussion, but it feels like you're trying to take everything from me. Oh, here we go with the drama again. Listen, Mariam, you didn't make this money anyway. It was Jack, wasn't it? Excuse me? And I'm his wife? You're not a wife, you're a parasite. Just accept the truth and give your son the house. If not, I'm going to cut you off. What? That's it. I'm done. Get out of my house.
Mom,
I said get out.
fine. If that's what you want, then so be it.
It hurts so much to hear my own son and daughter-in-law speak to me that way. But I wasn't going to back down. I wasn't going to let them treat me this way anymore. They were both taken aback by my response, but I stood firm. Tim and Sarah were there with me, supporting my decision. They had always been kind and caring, unlike Mike and Lisa. I couldn't help but wonder where I had gone wrong in raising Mike. My heart ached with regrets and disappointment, but there was nothing else I could do. They showed their true colors, and I had to accept reality as it was. There was one secret that I was hesitant to share with Mike and Lisa. My husband didn't spend all of his savings on charities. He had a plan. He was investing in several buildings and apartments. He set it up for me so that I was well taken care of even after he was gone. For a few months now, I had started receiving rental income from those properties. It really helped me secure some financial stability for my remaining days, as the earnings could reach $500,000 a month during peak seasons. As a promise to Jack, I told him that I would give our children what they deserved. And so, his inheritance money was just a small test that Jack and I had set up. After the drama, I asked Sarah and Tim to come over and sit down for a serious talk. Sarah, Tim, I asked you to come over today because I have something important to discuss. Is everything okay, Miriam?
Yeah, Mom, you look a bit worried.
It's about the properties that your dad, Jack, left us.
Wait, what properties?
These ones. I took out a list of houses and apartments that I was managing on Jack's behalf, and both Sarah and Tim were surprised. I want you both to have full control of them, but I also have a request. What kind of request? I want you to promise me that a portion of your earnings from these properties will always go to charities. It was your father's wish to help others, and I believe it's essential to carry on his legacy.
Mom, that's a big commitment. We'll need to manage the properties and handle the finances responsibly.
I trust both of you, and I know you will do the right thing. But please understand how important it is to give back to those in need. I agree, Miriam. We should honor Jack's wish.
You're right, Mom. Dad always believed in giving back, and I want to continue that tradition.
Thank you both. It means a lot to me that you're willing to honor his legacy in this way. Of course, Miriam, we are family, and we'll support each other in everything.
Yeah, and I'm sure Dad would be proud of us for doing this.
I know he would. You two are such wonderful, compassionate individuals, and I couldn't be prouder. As they sat there, I felt a sense of peace. I knew that Jack's memory would live on through their acts of kindness. After that, Tim and Sarah did a terrific job running the business. On the contrary, Mike and Lisa struggled financially, and they seemed to think they were entitled to more of my inheritance. They approached me again, asking for a share of the house and money. When I turned them down again, they became really bitter. They would drive past Jack's apartment and houses just to scream at our guests, hurting the family business. Tim had no choice but to call the police and get a restraining order. It was sad, but I knew it was necessary. Mike and Lisa's relationship suffered the most, as their constant bickering and selfishness created an unhealthy dynamic between them. What once might have been a loving partnership had turned into a competition for more wealth and possessions. Their relentless pursuit of what's rightfully theirs only deepened their unhappiness, and before I knew it, they were already divorced. Tim and Sarah, on the other hand, have been so happy. They're expecting their first child, and I can't be more excited to be a grandmother. In the end, my family was not defined by blood ties but by love and compassion, and I was grateful for the true family I had found in Tim and Sarah. Life had thrown some unexpected challenges my way, but I faced them head on, and in the end, I chose the family that truly mattered. Jack's legacy would live on through the love and kindness Tim and Sarah showed, and that was enough for me.